here's what we're going to talk about. Here's what you're going to learn. I'm going to be teaching you all about my signature methodology, the 5 C's of building a 6-figure coaching business. So as you can see on my board here, let me check my video and make sure that this is in the frame. Looks like it is. Okay, cool. So as you can see on the board here, this is it. These are the 5 C's of standing up a 6-figure coaching business. Choose the right niche, right? Create a killer coaching package, okay? Curtains up, launch your brand. Client attraction system, and closing the deal. So this is it. I just want to talk you guys through this today. I encourage you, of course, to ask questions in the chat as we go. I will check in every so often. If by some chance I miss a question because I'm kind of barreling through this, I will make sure to circle back and answer each and every question in the chat. So before we get started, for those of you who don't know me yet, I'll give you a really quick intro so you just know who the heck is talking to you here. Again, I'm Betty Kempa. I'm a business coach for coaches. Very specifically, I help corporate professionals exit their 9-to-5 and repackage their genius into a 6-figure coaching practice. And of course, that was me, right? Most of us are coaching a former version of ourselves. So that's exactly what I'm doing here as well. I'm also a LinkedIn and content marketing expert. Before I moved into coaching, I was in corporate communications. I was a leader in corporate communications at various Fortune 500s. But after about 10 years in the corporate world, I realized it ain't for me. I was over the corporate politics, the stress, the feeling micromanaged. And, you know, more than that, I just wanted my freedom. I wanted the freedom to run my own business. I wanted the freedom to bring my own vision to life. I wanted the freedom to decide how I wanted to spend my time, right? So really the only part of the corporate job I liked, which I'm sure many of you can relate, was the actual time I got to coach people. Like that was the part I was like, oh, this is awesome, right? How can I do more of this? At the time, I didn't know how to transition that into a separate career. So I did a lot of soul searching and, researching. And what I realized was I was meant to coach, of course, right? I was scared, just like I'm sure a lot of you guys are, to take that leap from corporate to entrepreneurship. It's scary. But then for me, lo and behold, I got laid off. And I took that as an awesome sign from the universe that this is it. It's time to go for it and go all in with my coaching business. So that's what I did. I was certified at IPEC. When I first started, my niche was career coaching because I wanted to help unfulfilled corporate women find jobs they were passionate about. So that's really how I got started. And my first year in business, I dove into the business aspect of standing up that coaching business. I read a ton of books, I took a ton of courses. But really, for me, what was cool, my transition from corporate to coach was I was able to lean into my corporate communications background in order to stand up my business. That was really my superpower. And what I mean by that is in my former corporate communications role, the whole gist of my job was to create content that would be compelling and engaging to the consumer and to inspire them to take action with that content. So I really took that knowledge and I began to use it as an entrepreneur, and I pivoted my client attraction strategy to 100% virtual content marketing. And after doing that, that's how I got to 6 figures my first year as a career coach, right? And I achieved that without spending any money on Facebook ads, waste of money before you get to 6 figures, without doing the webinars and the challenges. Like I didn't do any of that. And now I will say that what I saw over time was the types of clients who would seek me out more and more, they weren't corporate people that were like, give me another corporate job. For me, it was more corporate people saying, hey, how did you do that? Like, I want to coach, show me how you did that. And they wanted to replicate my system. So that's the story of how I really got into business coaching, teaching my methodology that I'm going to share with you guys today, the 5 C's of building a 6-figure coaching business. This is really where my passion lies. And this is really where I feel in my in my element, in flow. So that's where I'm at today. Today I'm on the Forbes Coaches Council. I'm a frequent Forbes contributor. I've been featured in various publications from The Muse and JobScan, and a bunch of other publications. I do a lot of podcast interviews, and I am currently based in Denver, where I live with my significant other, who is a personal trainer, and my 2 cats. So that's my story. All right, now on to today's training session. I'm just checking the comments before I dive in here. Hey, Carol, watching from Boulder. Oh, you're my neighbor. Hey, Kathy from Pennsylvania. Okay, cool. So let's dive in. So step 1, choose the right niche. I want to start there. Okay. Choose the right niche. So choose the right niche. You can think of your niche as your specialty. You could think of your niche as a smaller segment of a larger market. So when I say choose the right niche, what I mean is I help who with what. Okay, that's what I mean. I help ABC demographic with XYZ goal. I help ABC demographic with XYZ goal, plain and simple. So your I help who with what statement, and this also goes along with your coaching title, right? What kind of a coach are you? Are you a career coach? Are you a relationship coach? Are you a health coach? What's your coaching title? Now, if the word niche is a turnoff or a trigger for you, which it totally is for some people, and that's totally fine. What I want you to think of it as is more about getting your messaging on point, right? This is my corporate communications background. Get your messaging on point. Your messaging has to be crystal clear to the client. If you confuse them, you lose them. Okay, so why do you want to choose a niche, right? Why do I have to choose a niche? First, it's easier to market. It just makes your life easier. I mean, just being real, right? This is the foundational stuff. When you get to the part where you have to outreach to others, and you have to figure out, where do I find clients? Your niche is going to be your guide. Your niche is going to help you build your coaching package, right? It's all based on your niche, your website copy, who you're speaking to. The SEO of your website is based on your niche. Your content marketing, what you post each day, your social media profiles, all of this is stemming from the niche. So the more specific you can get, the easier. It's just easier to attract clients. And I want this to be easy for you guys. I don't want this to be a headache, right? The other reason to choose a niche is it's about the client, right? Clients hire experts and specialists, not generalists. So your client wants a specialist. They want an expert. Think about human psychology. Think about how people's brains work. People don't pop out of bed in the morning saying, I'm going to hire a life coach today. It's just not typically how people think. People hop out of bed thinking, I want someone to solve my problem. There's something keeping me up at night. Right? It's like there's a bleeding wound that they need a tourniquet for. That's the stuff that propels people to act and seek out help, right? Is they have a specific problem they want solved. I just want you guys to remember, when you speak to everyone, you're speaking to no one, okay? You lose your value. So how do you do this? First, you have to look at the larger markets. Okay. So look at the larger market. So when I say larger market, what I mean is when you're starting from scratch, like, oh my gosh, where do I start with my niche? There's umbrella topics, right? Do you want to focus in finance? Do you want to focus in health, wellness, education, love, relationships, entrepreneurship, right? Business. Do you want to work with executives? Career, leadership, spiritual development, right? I've worked with spiritual coaches before. So start broad and then break it down. Okay, so start broad. You got to pick your bucket. All right. Once you have decided within the broader context, like where you want to focus your energy, I also want you to consider 3 things when you're trying to decide your niche. First is, where have you undergone massive transformation? Okay. So think about that. Where have you undergone massive transformation? That's clue number 1. Clue number 2 is, where do you already have some kind of experience or expertise? Right, I'm business coaching and I'm focusing on marketing. I had 10 years in corporate communications for different Fortune 500s. It was really easy for me to leverage that experience and bring it into something I found fun, right? And the third clue is, what are you passionate about? What lights you up, right? Maybe it's not something you've done in your corporate job, but it's something you're passionate about. So take those as clues as you're trying to figure out your I help who with what, okay? Now, once you have this locked in, the next step is to create your ideal client avatar. Let's see. Or your ICA. Your ideal client avatar, your ICA. And so what is that? Like, what, you probably heard that term a lot and you're like, why do I need to create that? What is that? Well, once you've locked into your I help who with what, your ideal client avatar is, sometimes you'll hear this referred to as a buyer persona, a marketing persona, a customer profile. This is really just a representation of your ideal customer. Who's your ideal customer? Who's the type of person that you want to purchase your services, okay? So we're kind of, for marketing purposes, dreaming up who is this human we're marketing to. And you really need to find the sweet spot between a client you'd love to help, they light you up, and they can afford your services. You really need to have that sweet spot of both to have a successful coaching business. So your ideal client avatars, you create this profile, right? This is something I help my clients do. And it's really there as it's like a marketing North Star, right? If you feel lost or you're struggling or you're trying to write copy, you always refer back to this ideal client avatar profile so that you stop wasting your time on copy or content or things that don't appeal to your ideal client, right? It's all about them. It's not about us, right? What we want to do, it's what they need, right? So we don't want to be writing copy or messages that don't resonate with our ideal client avatar profile, right? So I want you to be thinking about, who is this human that I want to work with? What's their age? What's the, demographics? How do they show up energetically? Income, title, right? All this stuff we have to have mapped out so you can target this person. Okay. Now, once you have an idea of who you want to help with what, right? We create this profile. Now we got to test it, right? Because we've kind of dreamed up the I help who with what and who we think this client is. Now we got to actually get out there and test it out. We have to validate that there is a market for what you're selling. So that's going to entail some research. Now, part of what I do with my clients is we build out a competition matrix. So build out a competition matrix. This is part of what I do with my clients. Now, what is that and why are we doing this? Well, you have to be locked in to who your competitors are so that you can strategically position yourself in the market. That's what it's all about. You don't need to be the best in the entire coaching business or industry to get to 6 figures, but you do need to be strategically positioned in the marketplace. That's why we do a competition matrix. We're positioning you, okay? You also need to identify the gaps in your industry, right? That's when we're looking at this matrix, we're looking for the gaps, meaning what's missing. What do clients need? There's often something major missing in your niche, in your industry, that people don't provide because it's too hard or it's too expensive or whatever it is. So look for the gaps and disrupt your industry by filling in those gaps. Okay. Also, part of our market research is going to be ideal client avatar surveys. Okay. So this is the golden ticket. Okay, this is where we get out in the field and we talk to our people. So I want you to reach out to a handful of ideal clients and interview them live on their pain and their problems and the number one thing that keeps them up at night. And then I want you to interview them on the flip of that, right? What's their dream? What's their goal? What's their vision, right? This is what's going to help you truly land the plane with your niche. I like to provide my clients a script to get out there and gather this intel. And then they come back with all this info, and I help my clients identify what are the trends, what are the trend words, what are the trend phrases on how they describe their pain and their dream. And then we update the I help who with what accordingly. Okay. So this is step one, you guys, with choosing your niche. Just checking in here. Hey, Arian, how are you doing? See Ada. Okay, Brian. Hey, Brian. Okay, cool. So let's move on to step two, create a killer coaching package, because I got a lot to cover here. Okay. Create a killer coaching package. So just a couple best practices, you guys, when you're thinking about, okay, now I know my niche, I've landed the plane, I've validated the market, I've talked to my people, I've updated my statement, I'm positioned in the market the right way, I'm positioned, right, so that I can explain my value. I've filled in the gaps in my industry. Step two is creating the package. So first off, you guys probably heard this before, sell a package, don't sell hourly. One-off coaching where the client shows up and you ask, hey, what do you want to work on today? With no structure whatsoever. That's going to be really challenging to get to six figures that way. And that's what this is, right? Build a six-figure coaching business. So that's the first thing, packages. Next is simplifying. Simplify. I do a lot of audits, and I see a lot of coaches that make this way too complicated, right? They've got a million different offerings, and you could do this and you can do that. Simplify your offerings. And also, I want you to focus on selling a high ticket coaching package. Now, that's high ticket is arbitrary. A lot of my clients are around the 10K mark of a high ticket coaching package. It can be more or less, but definitely no less than 3K, right? So we want to do the math to figure out how much do I need to sell a package for to be able to realistically sell that many packages per month to get to the six-figure mark, right? So you got to do the math and back it up. And what makes sense mathematically is to create this high-ticket coaching package. Now, of course, we're not just slapping on a price tag and hoping for the best. We're matching it to value, right? And we'll get into this, but we want to create a package that's worth almost double the value of the actual ticket. So that's a part of the strategy. Now, I like to suggest two different offerings, right? Typically, you have a high ticket offering, and then you have a downsell, right? You have a downsell, something that's a step down from that. But anything more than that can kind of get confusing for the client because they don't know if they need, this, that, or the other offering. They just know they have a pain point and they're looking to you to tell them how long it's going to take to help them solve said pain point. So I think realistically, it's nice to have a high ticket coaching package and a downsell. Now, again, with the high ticket, this is the stuff that allows you to scale. This is the stuff that allows you to get to six figures. You only have to sell maybe one or two coaching packages per, at most per month, and you're at your goal, right? It's so much better than the exhausting hustle of selling a bunch of lower ticket offerings. I mean, literally it's exhausting and you burn out. Also, to be honest with you, and I've purchased, almost 20K coaching packages from other coaches. When you do that, you have more skin in the game. And when you got more skin in the game, you show up differently. You show up ready to do the work. So it's actually a benefit in that way as well. And bottom line, obviously with a higher ticket, it requires a longer duration of time working with the client. And when you work with the client for a longer duration of time, the more transformation that is going to happen. I think I read it was like 90 days to create a habit, just to create a habit, right? So transformational change takes time, and that's going to require a longer duration of working with you. So how do you do it? How do you create this high ticket coaching package? Well, first you have to create a signature coaching methodology. Signature coaching methodology. So what's that? A signature coaching methodology is 3 to 5 steps or pillars to get your clients from pain to dream, right? They come to you in pain. And the package, the signature methodology, the 3 to 5 steps, your IP, this is unique to you. You're going to create that bridge to get them to their dream. That's what a signature methodology does, and it's yours. It's unique to you. It becomes a selling point, right? Let's see here. I will drop mine into the chat. See if I can do this one up here. Oh, hi, Ariane. Nice to see you there. Okay, so I just dropped you guys into the chat. My signature methodology, just for those of you who are kind of trying to visualize, like, what is she talking about? And again, this is my methodology. It's the 5 C's of creating a 6-figure coaching package. So for you, for your client, for your niche, we got to create a signature methodology for you as well. We also need to create a toolkit. Okay, so we got the signature methodology, and now we need a toolkit. Okay, so the toolkit, this is the stuff to help your client on their journey. And this could be accessibility to you. This could be resources, tools, templates. Your toolkit could be community, right? Like, I have a mastermind that it's not just me that a client gets when they work with me. They get access to our mastermind of awesome coaches, right? Information could be a part of your toolkit. So accessibility, resources, tools, community, information. Think about what's the stuff that I need to arm my client with to help them on their journey as they climb up this mountain, right? So again, for example, my toolkit is what I call a 6-figure coaching business in a box, right? This is 6 months of coaching calls. My one-on-one clients get access to all my group coaching calls. This is my on-demand learning center, my lead magnet template, my social media graphic templates, email nurture sequence script, LinkedIn outreach script, discovery call script, right? There's all this stuff in this toolkit that I provide to my clients along with my signature methodology. So for you, for your niche, we got to come up with some really, very valuable toolkit. Now the bottom line is, again, coaching package needs to provide value, right? It's not about slapping on a high ticket, saying, oh, I hope somebody buys. It's about providing value. Your goal is to create a coaching package where the total value is about double what you charge, right? If people don't purchase, it's usually not a pricing issue, okay? If people don't purchase, it's usually not a pricing issue. It's usually a value issue. They don't understand the value of what you're offering. So it's up to you, and this is what I help my clients do, to explain on your website the right way the value of what you're offering. It's up to you to explain on your discovery call the value of what you're offering, right? They need to understand that, and that's up to us to explain that. So this stuff works. This is where the magic happens. My client Krista, leadership coach, she created a signature methodology and a toolkit, and she sold a package for $13,900. My client Reese, I know his first package right off the gate was a 6K package, right? So If you have these two elements locked in, right, this is really where the magic happens. So again, with step 2, you can attract all the clients in the world, but if you don't have a compelling package that gets them from pain to dream, they're going to flutter away, right? So that's important. Let me check my, oh, hey, Emily. Ivy, do you offer this in a group setting? I do. For me, I have a one-on-one that I offer, and then my downsell, right, is a group coaching or a mastermind. And the bonus that I give my one-on-ones is that they also get access to my group. So it's kind of a cool add-on. And if you guys are doing a group, I advise you to do the same. Let's see here. And Paula, would you provide some examples, unique methodologies? So check the link that I dropped in the chat, the 5 C's. This is my unique methodology. If you want to, I still have on my website, which is old, but I also have on there, if you go to my services page, my old career coaching package. So you can click on that link too on my website and see what I used to do when I first started, what got me to 6 figures, my career coaching methodology. So there's an example of that as well on my website, and I'm happy to provide more. So let's move on. So step 3. So far we've covered step 1, choose the right niche. Step 2, create a killer coaching package. And step 3, which is curtains up, launch your brand. Curtains up, launch your brand. Now, I know that some of you have already launched your brand, right? Your website's out there in the universe, but you still want to have a business expert do a cross-check of your marketing material to make sure it's effective, right? I spent 10 years in corporate communications, so this is the kind of stuff that excites me. It comes second nature to me, but I realize that this isn't really second nature to a lot of people, right? The website design and copy, the branding, profile optimization. So I want to talk you through this. These are the elements that I work with my clients on when they're launching their brand or when they need to do a brand refresh, right? So this is, you kind of think of this as like a checklist, curtains up checklist. Okay, so first is branding. Branding. Is your branding on point? I love branding. I'm all about that branding. Let me tell you what, it makes a huge difference. Are you branded to attract high quality, high-end clients? Plain and simple. Are your colors right? Not colors that you like, oh, I look good in green, but there's a certain method of choosing colors that will attract the type of clients in your niche that you're looking to attract. Each color actually represents a different feeling or emotion for the person that sees that color. So are your colors attracting the right people? Is your logo on point? Is your photography on point, right? We are a brand, so we got to have that good photography, and there's a method to that as well. Website copy and layout is the next on your checklist. Website copy and layout. Is your website copy compelling, right? Your ICA, your ideal client avatar, when they come to your website, right, we're thinking about human psychology here. They come to your website, they make a snap decision about whether or not they want to stick around within 7 seconds before they even scroll down, right? So your copy better be clear and grab her attention. Okay. Is your website layout compelling? Is there enough white space? Are there headers? People are scanners. I can tell you that from a communication standpoint. People scan. So there needs to be headers and white space. Do you have the right tabs on the top of your website? Do you have a tab for free training material, whether that's blogs or videos? Do you have a tab for testimonials? Are the images branded on your website? Are they images of you? Your lead magnet. Again, this is our curtains up checklist. Do you have a lead magnet? And is it irresistible? Is it an irresistible opt-in or lead magnet? Or this is also known as a freebie, right? And this is when you go to someone's website and they have something, a free gift. And if you give your email, you get that gift, right? And email list, that's where the money's at, okay? P.S., nobody wants to join a newsletter list. Join my newsletter list. We get so many emails. People aren't going to be inspired by that. People want to download a juicy freebie, right? Something that is so valuable that once they download it, they're actually shocked it's free, right? They're like, oh man, I'd pay for this, right? So we got to create a great lead magnet. LinkedIn profile optimization. Okay. Are you branding yourself on your LinkedIn profile to attract clients? Is your LinkedIn profile optimized? Sometimes clients don't even go to your website. They decide whether to work with you based on your LinkedIn profile. That's the first thing, and maybe sometimes the only thing. Facebook too, even if you're not focused on Facebook, if your focus is LinkedIn, you still want the Facebook profile optimized, because the fact is people will check you out. They'll go to all your different handles. So Facebook profile optimization. We got to get all your handles on point. Now, I'm not saying you should focus your social media on LinkedIn and Facebook and Instagram. You should choose one, but you still want to have your profiles set up as a business, as a professional, okay? Testimonials, that's going to be a big part of Curtains Up Launch Your Brand. Even if you're new and you're just getting started, there's a way to gather those ahead of time. We need some powerful testimonials, including video, and there's a method to doing that if you're just getting started. Also, you can consider something like I call this a carrot dangle. Right, so when you're first getting started, and you're trying to figure out, how do I get people interested in my big package, right? Before she purchases that big ticket, sometimes you can create a one-off kind of coaching session, which is like maybe an hour, where it's designed to have a specific outcome, where you wow your clients and then you pitch them the bigger package. Right? So that's just something to consider. For those of you who went to IPAC, that would be something like the ELI. The ELI would be a good carrot dangle where you wow them, you knock their socks off, and then you transition that into selling the bigger package. And the key with the ELI or any carrot dangle is you need to speak about it, not in coachy language, but in the client's language. So they understand how that applies to them, their problems, their niche, right? Email nurture sequence. Okay, so we need to create an email nurture sequence. That's part of Curtains Up Launch Your Brand. When someone downloads your lead magnet, we're going to push out a series of emails to nurture the relationship. These are highly important. You'll never have a more engaged reader than when they are first reading an email from you. Social media sometimes can be like 10% of your audience will see your stuff with the algorithm, but email, the first email that they receive that contains your lead magnet, that has over a 50% open rate. That's incredible. So you need a really good email script to draw them into your world, not just, hey, here's your lead magnet. And then you get, 4 more automated emails that will push out after that. And even those will have a very high open rate, over 30% usually. So if you have their attention like this, you got to get those scripts right. And those emails are meant to drive people to book a call with you. Okay, warm them up. This is about know, like, and trust. Okay, again, these email scripts, this is the stuff I give my clients, right? And it's like a plug and play. And then last, business launch communication strategy. So business launch communication strategy, a big mistake that I see all the time, somebody's website goes live, like, yes, my website goes live. They'll post about it on Facebook. Hey guys, my website's live. And then it's crickets, right? And then it's such a letdown because, they put all this work into creating this website. So you need a business launch communication strategy, which is a way to get people excited about your website launch, okay? So guys, the bottom line here with step 3, curtains up, launch your brand, which is all the stuff I just talked about, you can attract all the clients in the world, but if your website copy falls flat, you've lost them. If they drop off your social media algorithm and they're also not on your email list, you've lost them. If you don't have a website opt-in that entices them based on their initial point of pain, they're not going to give you their email address. If they're deciding between you and another coach, and that other coach has a boatload of testimonials, right? That's a problem. So bottom line is attracting clients, which is, I know what everybody wants. So like, how do I get clients? It's not going to work unless you've laid the foundation with steps 1 through 3. Choose the right niche, create a killer package, curtains up, launch your brand. And sometimes you've launched your business, but you're so close to your business that you can't see that one small tweak to one of these steps. Sometimes it's a couple tweaks that'll make all the difference to get you to 6 figures. So you're going to want to pull in an expert, to help you diagnose where you need to tweak, so you're not spinning your wheels. Okay. Don't assume that you're not at 6 figures just because you're not attracting clients. Often it's much more than that. There's gaps in one of the first 3 C's. Okay. So step 4, what everybody is waiting for, is client attraction strategy. Okay, client attraction strategy. Let me check my comments quick. Okay, Paula, good. That's what you were looking for. Great. Ariane, free ELI? No, I wouldn't. Personally, I mean, to each their own. So Ariane's question is, should we do the ELI for free? For those of you who are in IPEC, the ELI is an assessment that IPEC offers and teaches. I personally wouldn't do it for free. I would sell it, but at a low price, and I would create a coupon for it and use that coupon as a way to entice people. I'd have an expiration date on the coupon. There's a strategy to that, using something like the ELI or any carrot dangle, where you charge a very low price, very low, so that it's a low point of entry, and you give a coupon. That's a great marketing tool with an expiration date to push people into wanting to purchase that. But because you have to pay for the ELI, I wouldn't burn a hole in your pocket that way. That's just my opinion. Good question. So client attraction strategy, there's a million ways to attract clients. Let's be real, right? And that's one of the things that makes it so overwhelming. I know I found that one of the most challenging parts of building my coaching business was that every other business expert was telling me their way was the right way. And that's so overwhelming. And also, we can't do it all, nor do we need to. We don't need to do it all to get to 6 figures. We don't need to. So I think the thing is, a couple things that I want you guys to think about when it comes to client attraction. First, find a client attraction formula that works for you. But the caveat is you do have to pick somebody's Kool-Aid, right? We've all got our own Kool-Aid. You got to pick somebody's Kool-Aid and drink it. If you try to take a sip of every business expert's Kool-Aid, right, sip here, sip there, and you expect that to work, you'll fall flat because it's not a strategy. So lock in to one strategy and go all in with that strategy. Also, don't pull yourself in a million different directions trying to attract clients. Hire a business coach, right? Coaches need coaches. Let them guide you. Find somebody who's achieved what you're looking to achieve. You don't need to reinvent the wheel to get to 6 figures. It's not a mystery. Somebody's already been there, done that. So find that human and replicate their formula, make your life easier. And the last thing I want to say before I get going here is, when it comes to client attraction, we never want to feel like we're hunting people down and twisting their arm to get on a discovery call. Never. That's icky, and that's not what being a coach is about. We want to position ourselves as an expert in the marketplace so that we attract clients to us, like bees to a honey jar. Okay. So I think there are 3 pillars of client attraction, okay, that I like to lock into. And the first is free weekly training content. Okay. So in order to attract clients, you need to be seen as the expert in your particular niche. right? When somebody thinks of your niche, you should be the first coach who comes to mind. You should be the go-to. And in order for you to be seen as the expert authority in the market, you have to be creating consistent, free training content, right? And by the way, Arian, I know you're doing videos for your niche. I've seen some of them and they are awesome. So you guys check out Arian's videos on YouTube, because that's what I'm talking about, is creating free weekly training content for your niche. So same day, same time, each week, you're publishing some form of free training content, right? You can get a whiteboard, right? Like me, you can get a microphone, whatever, but you don't have to be fancy about it. Just teach, right? Just provide value. And when you do this, your ideal client avatars will start to expect and look forward to it. And eventually they'll consume enough free stuff. They'll realize, hey, I want that coach's help to help me apply the information I learned. It's one thing to see the information, it's another to apply it, right? So they will come to know, like, and trust you. You can't just tell someone you're knowledgeable, hey, I know what I'm talking about. You have to show them with weekly training content. And there are 3 different methods. I want you to pick one. It could be blogging. Right? That's how I started as a career coach. I was blogging. Now business coaching, right? I'm doing these videos. I'm doing lives, so you could do videos, or podcasting. Just pick a method, one, and show up consistently, teaching and training, and you can even do some live coaching. Now, weekly training content is funneling people to join your email list. That's typically what it does. It's either funneling people to join your email list or it's pushing them to book a call. It's one or the other, and both are valuable. For example, at the end of a blog, you could have click here to download my, whatever your lead magnet is. You're always building that email list. Now, each week you're pushing your training content to your website, right? You should have a section of your website for that free training content, a vault. You're pushing it to your social media platform of choice, and you're pushing it to your email list. So you're leveraging one piece of free training content all across the board. And side note, what are you training on? Your signature coaching methodology. That's the coolest part. You never have to wake up like, what do I train on today? It's your signature methodology. It's just little bits and parts, or like what I'm doing today, it's an overview, right? Client attraction strategy number 2 is daily social media content marketing. Okay, social media. It doesn't have to be 7 days a week, but in the perfect world, if I could sprinkle fairy dust, it'd be 5 days a week. And, again, don't worry about this until you have steps 1 through 3 locked in. But once those are locked in, now it's time to get out there and get visible on social media. Now, why is it important to be visible on social media to attract clients? Well, because your ideal client avatar, they may not be ready to buy from you the first time they read about you or the first time they see a post from you. Honestly, it could take some people 5, 7 or more times of seeing your stuff until they're ready to book a call. So your goal is to stay in front of them so that when they are ready to ask for help, you're the first person that they think of. Now, your first year in business, don't go nuts trying to be everywhere. LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. There is no need for that. Pick one platform where your ideal client avatar hangs out and dominate that platform, okay? Time-saving tips. This is the stuff I help my clients do. Build out a content marketing calendar. And the good news is we're going to use your signature methodology to build out that calendar. Repurpose content, right? You can take one piece of free training content. You could repurpose that for content for your entire week. You can make it so easy on yourself. Batch your content creation, create it all in one fell swoop versus every single day. And then last, you can automate this. You can automate or delegate. You should be creating the content, but then you can automate the post, or you can delegate it to a VA. So there's a way to do that as well. Client attraction strategy number 3 is outreach. Okay. Outreach. So outreach is something you want to do daily. Outreach is you reaching out to other humans on your social media platform of choice. LinkedIn is a great place for doing outreach. You need to be outreaching to your target market. This is why it's important to have a niche and to understand who your specific target market is, right? Otherwise, you're on LinkedIn saying, who am I going to reach out to? Like, who am I talking to here, right? So are you talking to C-suite executives? Is it working moms? Is it corporate directors in the tech industry, right? Like, you get the drift. You need to know who you're targeting in order to do outreach. You're also going to want an outreach sequence. So essentially, it's not just like one message. You're not just reaching out and saying, hey, let's get on a call. You want a 4-part, and this is what I use with my clients, a 4-part nurture sequence that gradually warms people up to you, so that if they are your target market, if they do need your help, they will request to hop on a call with you. This is a script that I provide to my clients. But, again, outreach is about being of service. It's about providing value. That's what it's about. It's not about being slimy and awkward. It's about being of service and providing value. That's what outreach is. And the cool thing, too, with outreach, this is another thing. Once you've written the scripts, you can delegate it. Delegate your outreach to a VA, and then you get involved and you hop into the conversation once the person on the other end responds, right? The second the person responds to the outreach, the VA is pushing out these outreach messages, you hop in, right? And then you get them on a call. So there's a method to that madness. So you guys, those are the big 3. I'm just going to pause here real quick. Paula, stay back from seeming like a needy coach by pursuing clients. Yes. Exactly, Paula. Cool. VA is talking about like a virtual assistant. So I'm all about, with everything I'm teaching you guys, I want you to come from an authentic place, create your own content, because that's you, your voice, you providing value. But there's so much of this we can delegate, automate, streamline, right? Because we only have so many hours in the day. So finding a virtual assistant, and there's certain elements of this process you can delegate to a virtual assistant. Couple other things. I'm going to do a time check here. Probably run a little bit over. I know this is probably going to be my longest live because there's a lot to cover, but we'll kind of wrap it up here in the next 10 minutes. Couple other things with client attraction. Those were the big 3. But once you have those locked in, we want to do things like PR, publicity. And I'm big on that. I like that. I like PR. I like publicity because, again, it's about visibility. It's about getting yourself out there. Get on the Forbes Coaches Council. That's what I did. That's what I like to teach my clients to go that route. Get on the Forbes Coaches Council, become a Forbes contributor, get published in other places, right? Like, that's a whole lesson I teach, is how do you get published? From when I started as a career coach, JobScan, The Muse, right? I found these different publications where my ideal client avatars hung out, and I got, quoted on there. I came on and I taught something. You also want to be getting interviewed on other people's podcasts. You show up as the expert. All of this is very important because we're elevating you as an expert in the market. You also want to leverage other people's traffic. So, other people's Facebook groups, online forums where your ideal client avatars hang out. We want to create a list of that. And create a system, right? Time block, a little bit of time each week to get on there and engage with humans and add value, right? Ask questions, right? If they share a pain point, help them. When I was career coaching, I had a list of groups where my ideal client avatars hung out, and I showed up and I provided value. Look for places that will allow you to give a free training or webinar. Again, when I was career coaching, JobScan was an awesome company that provided services for job seekers. And I reached out to them, we connected, and they allowed me to come on, and I taught like a 1-hour webinar for people that got laid off, and I got a client out of that, right? She reached out to me after that. So think about that as well. Referrals. So I like to do something with my clients called creating a referral tree. So you want to make a list of potential referral partners, right? So I'm always using the example of career coaching because that's how I got to 6 figures before I moved into business coaching. When I started out as a career coach, I had referral partners. right? I was talking to resume writers, LinkedIn specialists, other career coaches who catered to a different niche. I reached out, I formed relationships with them. We pushed each other clients. So you should be building an arsenal of referral partners and bake that into your system of connecting with them, okay? Bottom line with client attraction, this is a system. This is a system. We are not throwing spaghetti at the wall like, what do I do today? I hope it works. You as the CEO of your company need to be doing each day, each week, each month, and each quarter, right? I know there are certain elements that only I can do, and that's what I show up and do. And there are certain elements I'm going to delegate or automate, right? So you got to focus your energy with client attraction where you get the most ROI, okay? That's what I teach my clients. Last but not least is closing the deal. Close the deal. Final C in the 5 C's. So we've attracted the clients to us. Great. They know of us. How do we translate that into a sale? So clients are booking calls with us either through our website, they found us organically, or they found us through content marketing or an interview, and they hopped on our website and they booked a call. Sometimes it'll come from your email list, right? The email list, the call to action is book a call at the end of every email. Sometimes you're getting calls booked from your outreach. That's a big one, right? Your back and forth conversation with outreach leads to booking a call. Now, when I say book a call, what I'm talking about is booking a discovery call, which is an exploratory call or consult to determine if the prospect is the right fit for your coaching practice. So a couple elements that I just want to touch on here with a little bit of time we have left. Closing the deal, you need to pre-qualify. Okay, pre-qualify. Entrepreneurs, our greatest asset is time. It's our greatest asset. So you gotta be getting on the phone with the right people who are ready for you, not just anybody. So this is what pre-qualifying is. This could be a pre-qualification form where somebody applies and you assess, what are you assessing ahead of time? Do they have a need? Right? If they're just curious, they're probably not ready for a call. Right? They're still in content absorption phase. So they got to have a need. The timing has to be right. Right? Time's got to be, if the timing isn't right, if they're like, yeah, maybe a year from now, probably don't want to hop on a call yet, right? Budget. Right? Do they have the budget? Right, for your coaching package? There are ways to find that out. And also with your pre-qualifying, the questions you ask in your application, you need to find out, why are they interested in you? Why you? You know, you don't want to hop on the phone with someone who has no idea who you are, right? That it's important that they're able to convey to you why they want to hop on the phone with you specifically. If you find that any of these areas are lacking before you hop on the phone with someone, the timing's probably not right to hop on that call, okay? The other part that I want to convey to you guys besides pre-qualifying is educating. Okay, so closing the deal, we pre-qualify and then we educate. If you are doing the heavy lifting just on the discovery call, if that's where you're doing the heavy lifting, you're doing it wrong. So what I mean is, if you expect that just the call is the part where you get people on to sign on as clients, that's not where the heavy lifting actually is. You need to be warming people up, establishing the know, like, and trust before you get on a call with them. Right? That's why we need to educate them prior to the call. So once they apply for a call, they pass that round and they get through to your scheduler, you want to send them an email prior to your call that will educate them on your coaching style, right? That might be through testimonials. Educate them on some of your free training content, your blogs, your videos. Educate them on your signature methodology. They should know all about you and be excited to get on that call with you ahead of time, okay? Discovery call flow. Okay, so now we're on the call. We've pre-qualified, we've educated, now we're on the call. And of course, the script, the discovery call script is key. It's everything. This is one of the elements that I teach my clients, is the discovery call script. People that stumble their way through it, doesn't work, right? You probably know that. So you're going to want an intro. You get on the call, you want some kind of an icebreaker, right? Tell me about yourself. What are you hoping to get from today's call? You set the agenda as the coach, and get their buy-in, right? That the agenda sounds good. From there, we want to dig into the pain. Right? We need to understand, and sometimes it helps for the prospect, to be honest. It helps them to, sometimes they haven't even spoken it out loud yet, right? So you want to talk to them about, what's your biggest challenge? What's the cost of doing nothing? What are you no longer willing to tolerate? So dig into that with them, uncover that. And on the flip, you got to figure out their dream. This is all part of the discovery call, right? Then flip the switch and find out, what do you want your life to look like, right? Fast forward 1 year. What do you want? You know, if you're a health coach, what do you want your health to be like? You're a business coach. What do you want to achieve in your business in 1 year? What's the dream? What's the vision? And how will achieving this one goal change your life? Usually, the one thing that you're offering, your niche, them achieving that is going to have a ripple effect to much bigger things, goals, values, right? You also become a different person. So ask them questions about the dream or the vision, right? And you can also even pepper in some of the pre-qualifying questions into this call. Right? So you can ask them, hey, how long have you been thinking about doing this? Right? You know, get their buy-in, and then from there, you know, don't just move right into the pitch, but go through all this line of questioning, and then you want to transition, get their buy-in to move into sharing a little bit more about yourself. Right. So now we move into the pitch, right? And it should be a smooth transition. Right? They should be wanting to hear more about you and who you are and what you offer. So this is where you highlight your expertise. This is where you share your unique value proposition, what makes you stand out, what makes your program stand out. This is where you share your signature methodology. This is where you share your package deliverables or your toolkit. Right? And then this is also where you share your price. Right? You know, I like to give people bonuses too, right? So you want to reward action takers, right? People that are excited to jump on to your program. You want to reward action takers. You know, as humans, we ruminate on decisions forever, right? We're waiting for the perfect time, right? That's just human nature. And the sad fact is, right, I think we all know as coaches, that's actually self-sabotaging behavior, right? We self-sabotage when we say, oh, when the timing's right or not now, right? So it's nice to find a way to reward action takers, okay? So consider that as well. You're gonna need to know how to overcome objections. I don't even like to call them objections, to be honest. It's more just questions. I think objections are good because it's more about just they're curious, they have questions, they want to know more. You know, and now the cool thing is most of the objections are already accounted for in the pre-qualification application, so that's good news, right? You've already kind of covered a lot of that, but you do need to know how to address objections to money, time, you know, good old-fashioned need to think about it. You know, this is the stuff that I teach my clients, right? You got to just get comfortable and familiar with this so it doesn't throw you off, right, when somebody has one of these. And again, bottom line, it's not about convincing. It's about coaching clients to a decision, right? I know prosperous coach is like, right, we got to either a hell yes or a hell no. And I'm on board with that, right? It's not about convincing. It's about coaching them to a decision, one way or the other. And then, of course, you're going to seal the deal, right? When I say seal the deal, collect your payment. Don't send a proposal if they're ready to purchase now. Do it, right? Get the payment and get them all set up and ready. If they want to think about it, that's okay too. There is a way to, handle that, to schedule a follow-up chat with them, send them a follow-up email that highlights the value of your program. And then, you can schedule a follow-up call to hop on a call and say, hey, okay, what are your questions? What are your thoughts? But to just send a proposal out into the universe, say bye, right? That could disappear forever. So there's a method to that. Bottom line with this C, closing the deal, it's never about the money. It's about the value. Do they understand how valuable your package is? And if not, we need to work on that. All right, you guys. So this was a long training. So if you are still with me, you're a rock star. Hey, Ivy. And Ivy, you and I will talk more later, hopefully. Okay, so you guys, I'm going to circle back, and especially for those of you watching the replay, any questions that I missed, because I kind of had to move a little quickly to get through all this, I'll circle back and answer all your questions in the chat. So drop me a line if you enjoyed this, if you watched the replay. And also, for those of you still here live, I want you to drop me a comment and let me know, one, where are you in this process? And two, what is the next action you need to take based on what I shared today to move towards 6 figures? So where are you at in this process? Answer that. And two, what is the next action you need to take based on what I shared to move towards 6 figures? So I hope you guys have enjoyed this. This is really the what. What I taught you guys today, this is the what. What do you need to do to get to 6 figures? The work I do with my clients, that's the how. Right? That's the scripts, the templates, the process, the implementation for standing this up. Okay. So do me a favor, you guys, if you enjoyed this, please invite another coach or a corporate professional who wants to move into coaching. Invite them on over to our group so we can continue to grow and add value. My mission is to grow this group to 5,000 corporate professionals who want to unshackle their JOB golden handcuffs and become 6-figure coaches. So our group is almost at 500, which is so awesome. Let's see if we can help some more people. And I'll leave you guys with this. If I can do it, you can freaking do it. If my clients can do it, you can do it. All it takes is having and implementing the right strategy. Don't do it alone. Don't do it alone. Don't do it in a bubble. Okay. Thanks for joining me, guys. Feel free to continue dropping questions, and I will answer all of them. All right, guys. Talk soon.